This episode of Boss Rush After Dark is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support our family of podcasts, head over to patreon.com/bossrushmedia or search for us on the Patreon app on your smart device. Thanks for helping us build something better.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast show for the Boss Rush Network. It's your boy, LeRon Dawkins here, back with my wonderful co-host, the beautiful, the sophisticated, the classy Stephanie Klimov.
You're just saying that because you trash talked Ocarina of Time like 10 minutes ago.
I'm trying to get back to your good graces.
But thank you. Happy to be here. My mood is much more, I'm tired, much more elevated than when I first started because I was just not in a good headspace with how work's been going. So it's nice to be with friends.
That's good. Yeah, work's been kind of kicking my ass too. You know, like I think it's finally starting to kick my ass in like a more positive light. You know, like because like I've been taking some fucking licks these last few weeks here. Like this, like last month was it was a mess. Let's put it that way. Also here beside me is the awesome, the exuberant, the very well put together Mr. Corey Deary.
You lie like my ex-girlfriends, LeRon, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
It was good. It was good for me. I hope it was good for you, Corey.
It was all right. Oh man,
how's it going, guys?
It's going. Today's weird. So not that this is going to be one of the fun shows, not one of the downer shows. But I think I'm going to start it with a downer, just because today is an anniversary of someone that was important to me a long time ago that passed away. It was our, what do we call it? Our quote unquote, we're officially dating anniversary. And I don't know, this day and like in October 12th are like the 2 days that I'm like, the day kind of sucks mentally, but you know, it's gotten better over time.
Well, how about I cheer you up by just saying I just crossed my 2-year anniversary with my boyfriend yesterday, and it's technically
and you fell asleep. Which makes it hilarious.
I didn't fall asleep during doing the one thing.
Hold on. Let's see. I believe you said that you nodded off was the term you used. I hate to admit this, but I accidentally fell asleep on him last night. LeRon. It must have been a riveting anniversary, LeRon.
What it was too much food was consumed. That's what really happened.
What did you eat? What kind of food? I'm so hungry. I'm so tired of eating.
Actually, it wasn't even anything special because because like the anniversary was in the middle of the week. It was on a Tuesday, right? So we talked ahead. We and we're like, we just want to do the weekend. You know, we didn't want to do the weekend before, so we're like, we're going to do the weekend during the week of the anniversary stuff. So like our actual like formal plans are for this weekend as far as like going out to dinner and, you know, like being really nice to each other, but. There's this Italian restaurant right near where he works at, and on their menu is they've got a on the grill menu where like they've got a bacon cheeseburger, and they've also got like a grilled chicken breast sandwich and stuff like that. So he picked up the grilled chicken breast sandwich for me, and this is a nice ass combo because this thing's $8.99, right? Well, actually. Yeah, it's $8.99, but you get the sandwich, you get the fries, and like this is a really substantial sandwich and some really good French fries too. Like I mean, like it's those it's those French fries that everybody wants to have, but you have to go out of your way to get. Like they've got that right amount of crisp. They've got that exterior. You know the thing now where people are doing like on the TikTok videos where they run a fork across it and you can hear like the crunch or the crinkle or whatever, that noise. Yeah. And like this whole thing is like $8.99 before tax. So like and it's funny because like we were sitting there, we were eating it last night, and we were like, man, like we feel like we're getting over on something because food nowadays, like a combo like that usually is like $14. you know but yeah, it was but it was basically a barbecued grilled chicken breast sandwich with lettuce, tomato, cheese, bacon, like, man, and on a nice I want to say the bun was an in-house brioche bun. I want to say because it didn't feel like those buns that you just get from like right off the line. But like belly was full. Like, I mean, like we had to go for a walk after eating.
Mm. I gotta say, man, I'm a sucker for a sandwich with some bacon on it. We don't eat
Right?
we don't ever have like bacon in the house. So like it just, whenever I get to eat it, I get really excited. And it's usually if we go over to my parents for some sort of holiday or whatever, we go over there for breakfast or brunch or something, or like it'll be on a sandwich that I order and I'm like, I'm gonna put bacon on it. It's delicious.
Corey's like Winnie the Pooh, like when he's at the table getting ready to get that honey.
Oh yeah.
You know, one of these things.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Nah, I like some good bacon. Like I'm not sure if you guys have any First Watch, like those restaurants out y'all's way. Stephanie, you might have them up your way, like First Watch.
First watch.
It's a breakfast brunch place.
Mm-mm.
No, but they have this $1 million bacon, which like it's. Here's a secret, guys, because I'm one of those people that like I kind of deconstruct like food when I eat it, like to try to figure out like what the ingredients are. It's just bacon steeped in maple syrup with brown sugar, and
Ooh.
it's got that nice crunchy slash chewy texture to it, and man, it's
Mm.
delicious. And I just gave away the secret to make $1 million bacon. Plus, I have their cookbook, so I'm just
The
yeah, but
cookbook.
oh yeah,
I'm
oh
so
man,
hungry now. Why?
oh
So
man, like
sounds so good.
cookbooks are my thing. Like I get cookbooks, and and the sad part is like I get cookbooks and I just pick it. I just pick maybe like 2-3 things at the most out of the cookbook, and like the rest of the book is just a waste
I
because I
have
never
done
go
that,
for
LeRon. I have
I
done
never
that,
cook
so I
anything
can
else.
relate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I have a small collection of cookbooks. I like to
Nice.
cook. I like to cook, and my boyfriend monopolizes on the fact I like to cook. Did I tell you? Did I tell you recently? Did I tell you recently? Like we just wanted to just have a chill night and everything, right? And in lieu of going out, my boyfriend subscribes to HelloFresh, so like
Uh-huh.
he gets three. I think he gets three. It might be four. Meals like like sent to him and stuff like that. HelloFresh. All you gotta do is let's just like prepare it and cook it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we were like, you know what? He was like, I have two HelloFresh kits here that I have not done yet, and is getting close to expiring. I was like, well, cool. Instead of just going out, let's just go ahead and I suggested that we a couple, make the meal,
Mm-hmm.
have the bonding experience and everything, right? So he's like, yeah, that's a great idea and everything. So I was like, okay, I'll be over at your place by whatever time. I get there. I get there, and I was like, let me know when you're ready for dinner and stuff like that. He had really okie doke. He was like, hey, I got a couple things going on. Can you go ahead and get started? I knew in my head as soon as they can you go ahead and get started, I knew that I was going to be cooking that meal.
Oh man, that's a bummer. I don't know. I personally think the cooking together with someone is part of the fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we have done it, but I just knew that night, and but also he kind of I'm gonna. It sounds bad when I say he kind of takes advantage of me because he knows I'm one of those people that when I cook, I also clean at the same time. So while something's going
Oh.
on, I will also clean the kitchen up. So like the only thing we have to worry about, after dinner's over, is just the couple of dishes that we made just to eat at the table and stuff like that. And maybe one pan needs to be cleaned and stuff like that. So he took advantage of me.
I hate that. Ugh. I do that to my wife sometimes. Sorry,
Yeah,
but I do.
it was funny because when we first got into the groove, like when we first started dating and being serious and everything. One day he was over at my place, and I made dinner and stuff like that, and we'd eaten and everything, and I started cleaning the kitchen up immediately after we were done and everything. I mean, I loaded stuff in the dishwasher, but stuff that needed to be hand washed, I went ahead and washed that stuff. And he's like, do you do this every time? I'm like, I try to, because like what will happen is like if the kitchen isn't like in some state of like cleanliness when dinner's over, like it'll take 3 or 4 days for it to get done.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/phosphorusmedia, and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support. Yeah. Wash your dishes right away, kids.
Yeah, I don't do that, but that's just me being a slob.
Yeah, I try to use that dishwasher as much as possible though.
We have a dishwasher, but I've never used a dishwasher. I don't trust them.
Why don't you trust it?
What if it doesn't get everything off? I don't want to have to rewash the dish.
Okay, I understand that. But you know what I've learned is that you want to put the dishes in as dirty as possible, because like if you have a really good like dishwasher like detergent, like the enzymes on the detergent are designed to actually clean it off. Like the dirtier your dishes are, the higher the probability your dishes will come out clean in the dishwasher.
I was raised in a household where my mom used the dishwasher as a place to put
As a
dishes, as a
as a dish
storage.
rack.
And so by de facto, I just also don't use the dishwasher. I mean, once in a while I'll do it just to make sure mine works in the house. And I get it. Like, I know factually that you probably are more likely to save water using a dishwasher, but
Mhm.
I'm just so it's been pounded and ingrained in my head that you wash your own damn dishes. Like, I don't know. It's a
I've
hard
always
habit.
I've, I've always had roommates and stuff like that, so I kind of swear by a dishwasher for one major thing: it will sanitize your dishes. So you never have to
Okay.
worry about like someone, like they got that slight cough and don't want to admit to themselves, much less you, that they're sick and whatnot. Like I always just throw especially utensils and drinking glasses in the dishwasher.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, yeah. Screw that. Like in all this time that COVID's been a thing, I've only been sick. I've only been sick twice, and one time was actually COVID.
Man, now I
COVID.
kind of miss cooking. I got really into it, bought a bajillion cookbooks, trained myself, and then I just kind of fell out of it again, maybe just out of convenience. And oddly enough, because you think COVID and being at home would be a big thing to get yourself cooking, but
Hmm.
I have significantly more dishes because I'm always home, and I think that's a big deterrent for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
honestly, COVID kind of took the drive out of people doing anything, because like you probably fell into one or two categories. You fell into the category, well, I'm always going to be home, so like, what's the fucking point? Or you fell into the category of, oh, I'm home, I have so much stuff I can do now. It's one of those two things. Like a lot of and it wasn't like in a 50-50 split. Like more people were like, man, I'm stuck at home. Fuck this shit.
yeah.
Stuff like that, which is also why the COVID rates went up, in that first year and a half, because people got stir crazy and they decided it was going to go out anyway.
Yep. Remember when they said stay in for 2 or 3 weeks and it'll all go away, and then it lasted for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
Good times. Cool. Hey guys, we
What's
have
up?
topics from the community. Should we answer them?
What do we?
Should we talk about them?
You know what? That might be a good idea, actually. What you got?
It's a great idea, LeRon. I need you to say with more something. I don't know.
Was I? What
Gusto. Is that
did
the
I
word?
not?
Gusto.
Did I not have enough oomph? What?
I don't know. You can oomph however you want. I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you
I
how
could
to
put a
oomph.
little more. I could put a little more thrust into it next time.
I mean,
Yeah, thrust
probably
That works for you.
on.
Yeah, don't want you to hurt yourself though.
That would be great. What does the community want us to talk about tonight?
They want us to talk about Jerry Springer and the phenomenon of shock TV in the 90s. So
Or trash TV?
Josh M. Dot in the Discord writes in and says, with the death of Jerry Springer comes a reminder of the fun and dirty phenomena of shock TV in the 90s. What made these types of shows and brand of TV so popular?
Man,
The
that
cool
it
chant.
brings back some really great memories, which I know sounds odd because I try not to associate myself with like really trashy stuff, but I love it. And I have like really weird fond memories in a sense that, it's daytime television. I would only really see it if I was like sick day at school, like I was homesick or summer vacation. But the weirdest personal memory I have, it's really more for Maury than Jerry Springer, but similar camp really. My Nana, my from China, barely speaks any English Nana, who I love so much that raised me, her and I would watch Maury together, and she'd be like astounded how these women would not know who the baby daddy is. But I can just like hear her voice in my head, like her being so shocked. She goes, "Oh, like she tested like 10 men and neither of them are the father." It was like she was mortified but entertained at the same time. And I think that was kind of the fascination, which I got. Now, I think everybody gets pulled into trash TV for various reasons. Mine was, hey, you know what? At least my life isn't that bad. And I wonder if
Yeah.
that's part
Yeah.
of it, you know? So, but with Jerry Springer, back to him, like, rest in peace. I always was impressed by him only because he was it a governor or a mayor?
He was the
He
mayor
was
of
a mayor.
Cincinnati.
Mayor, then like talk show host. He also was a freaking judge. Like this guy, regardless of what you think about his trashy show, like he did a lot. He
Yeah.
accomplished a
Yeah.
lot.
He's iconic here in Ohio. Like he's like, you know, I mean, Cincinnati's only like 3.5 hours away from where I live, and he's like a huge celebrity here. He'd go to like Reds games, and like he drove all the way to Cleveland to go to like because the Cleveland Cincinnati baseball game, it was the Indians and the Reds at the time, was like the first interleague baseball game like ever, and he drove all the way up and like was here and did this whole press thing for it and everything. It was like a big deal.
I think he was very successful just because he definitely knew what he was doing and had a way about hosting because he brings these people on stage and like he's kind of the way he presents himself is like an interview style, and then he kind of like feigns ignorance even though like the entire audience is laughing as like unfortunately the guests kind of make fools of themselves. And then has the audience kind of ask questions or make comments at the end. So I think the way it was structured, I guess it was very entertaining for I don't know, stay-at-home moms. I mean, it's daytime television. There's a very certain type of audience that watches daytime television. And I don't know, shock and awe kind of that's what brought in viewers back then. What do y'all think?
Yeah, and it was also like a time before like this stuff was just available at will, right? Like, I mean, you look at YouTube and like all the trash that's on YouTube, right? Like mob fights and it's screaming Karens and all these other videos and TikToks of people and basically trying to do the same thing, right? It's like that wasn't around in the 90s. We didn't have access to internet, or most of us didn't, at least, right? Or in that type of internet didn't exist, and smartphones didn't exist, and you had to you had to wait for something to happen in the grocery store or stay home from school, and you could watch all this, right?
Yeah.
And it was entertaining at the time because we didn't have anything like that.
Mhm.
We didn't have anything like we do now, at least. Like it's the shock value. And I think that's something that people are missing who are growing up with smartphones and tablets and internet today, right? Is like they don't get this type of shock value because all of it's just available to you, right? It's the same
Yeah.
reason why, like, I mean, why porn isn't as popular either, right? Because it's so available to you all anywhere you look, right? And that it's like, well, I'll get to it when I get to it. It's not like you have to sit down and like watch. Jerry
Because you
Springer
might
was like
miss
an
it. Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
And Maury and Ricky Lake and it was all on like kind of
Let's
right
see.
after right after.
Ginny Jones. Who else do we have?
I mean,
Well, a little later,
Sally
Steve.
Jesse Raphael.
Yeah, inside Geraldo Rivera.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I was gonna say Steve Wilkos came out
Yeah,
a
Steve
little later.
Wilkos came out because of Jerry.
Yeah, his was more
'Cause-
like serious, so to speak. Uh,
yeah, kind of like what Dr. Phil he basically
yeah.
became.
Hmm.
Dr. Phil. Yeah. I mean, he's kind of like the last one, right? I mean, is his show still on? I don't even know.
Yeah, but Dr. Phil doesn't have fights or nothing like that. He just has like really like obnoxious like rambunctious kids and shit. Come on the show.
I
Yeah.
will say though, within the long-standing show of Jerry Springer, it also really evolved. Like, I'm not exactly a fan of the more recent ones because the show's been on for so long, it kind of ran out of like really fresh material. Like in the very, very beginning, Jerry Springer show was almost I would even use the word tame, so to speak, with a little bit of
Yeah, it
shock.
was.
And now
Mhm.
it's like midgets fighting in a bathtub of like chocolate pudding and
Yeah, it
some
did. It did kind of get very, very base.
500-pound person. Like it'd be like almost kind of, if we're thinking of a current 2023 state of mind, almost even a little bit offensive. But he wasn't afraid to be offensive. I hate to say it so. Or
Yeah,
not hate to
Mhm.
say it, but you know.
Yeah.
I don't even remember like I know for sure like I wasn't watching Springer when it first came on and stuff like that, but I definitely got into it like when like when all the fights would happen.
Yeah.
Because that was just wild. And sometimes, man, like sometimes the people would barely like get on the stage, and they're just straight running for the other person, like for the
Mhm.
fight and whatnot.
Oh my gosh, just because you also mentioned porn, but it was a shock to me back then that girls can just flash their tits and get jerry beads. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Whoa, they're flashing tits on granted, it was, like, blurred out, but, like,
yeah.
what? That's so scandalous."
Man, Jerry Beads.
Um, I'd like to just talk about Maury for a little bit too, because it's in the same vein. I got to see Maury live once. I dragged my friend there because we were on our way to Mystic, Connecticut, and Stanford's on the way. I'm like, "Alright, well, I wanna see Maury." Um it was cool to be there in the studio, and Maury came out before the recording started. He brought his dog out and he showed us his golden retriever and just chatted with us and then went backstage to start everything. It was and there was like
So
a
wait, you actually were on the Maury Povich show? Like, I
I
mean, like in
wasn't.
the audience.
Yeah, I was an audience member. Let's make this very clear. I did not need to know who my kid's father is, or take a lie detector test. Yeah, I was an actual audience member, and it's cool. Like they have a hype person that's there on the sidelines. It was almost a little annoying how hype based they were, but
Uh,
and Maury's actually pretty no nonsense, like behind the scenes. It's very interesting to see. Um, I liked it. I liked being there in person and seeing how the live talk shows because they're dying out, right? Like this might be the one and only one that I saw. Also, I got to see it for free, by the way. The tickets are free.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow, you are not the father.
you are.
Oh man.
He's so good. You are not the father, and the woman would be like, ah, and the guy would do his victory dance. He'd be like high fiving people. Um, I like it, like the lie detector test. If the guy was like cheating, because half the time the woman would like straight out try to beat the shit out of the guy.
Yeah.
And I hate, I hate to say, my favorite, which I know they didn't do anymore, was like wild, crazy teens that are out of control, like sex and drugs. So what Maura will do is have this motivational speaker come up. I forget his name, but he's this big, muscular dude, and he like yells at them and gets in their face.
Yeah.
And
I
then
remember those.
they drive the kids to a prison and
Well,
made
like
them work.
their version
Oh,
of Scared Straight.
scared straight or something. Scared.
No,
I
What
guess
is
Scared
it?
like
Straight was his own show, but Maury did it too every now. He wouldn't send him to a prison. He'd send him more to like a reform school.
correctional, whatever.
Yeah.
But no, the kids would actually talk to um jailed residents, especially like the
Hmm.
female ones, be like, "Do you really want to be in here?" Like, and I
Yo,
yeah,
what's crazy is like I like watching those, even the Scared Straight ones. Like watching those and seeing like these inmates and stuff having like these really mentor type talks to these kids and stuff. And it's like, wow, like this is not what Of course, there was some that was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make you my bitch. Like, you get up in here, you can be my bitch." but, but most of them were like, "Look, you don't want to be here. Get your shit together."
I know, like I hate to say it, like in some ways that I might actually be helpful. The more
Yeah,
mentor
right,
like ones,
right.
the mentor ones. And then I remember these were early Maury, probably because they're not appropriate now. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know because I think Jerry Springer would have these kind of things on the show all the time. Was I was so inappropriate now. Guess the gender of the person. Um,
I don't think I've ever seen those.
well, they're definitely not the later Maury ones. They probably scrapped it because it's not so PC. But it'd be like a female appearing or male appearing person, and the
Oh
audience have to
yeah,
guess if they were born a male or born a female.
that shit would not fly.
Um, I'll admit back then I found it amusing because they would always pick the
Oh yeah,
most beautiful looking female and they were born a boy, and the most masculine looking woman and masculine looking female and it was a cis female. You know what I'm saying? So it was interesting at the
it's
time.
like the Saturday Night Live skit, Pat.
Yeah. But I know Jerry Springer's show did that a lot more, but more like, "Hi, if you've been seeing me, I'm not trying to be but I'm just saying like that's how they like I'm really a man." Like they really like played it up, and it's like now when I watch it, I feel very uncomfortable watching it.
Yeah.
And let me make this clear too. I currently don't watch it, but it's I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing that these things are kind of going by the wayside, but
Yeah, they crashed and burned or died out.
yeah, because some of that stuff's like,
Well, then again, we have the really random fucked up shit now. Like, we got Teen Mom and 16 and Pregnant and, a Jersey Shore and, the Kardashians, which I'm shocked they're still relevant after the show went off on E. Like, like they're on Hulu now, and like
Hmm.
I'm just shocked that they're still like producing these things.
My wife watches it, so not that that's like
Like
the end all be
like
all
what's the
kind of
like
rating thing,
what's the
but
one show that her and Stephanie both have in common? I forget.
90 Day
90 Day
Fiance.
Fiance.
90 Day
Then
Fiance.
there's
Like
like
I've
then there's like 90 Day the Other Way and The Single Life. There's like all these spin-off shows. I'm like, what are you
oh
doing?
now I have been now I have my own claim to fame on like this type of TV though, because like I watch X on the Beach. I watch Are You the One?
Did you know there's a show on Hulu called MILF Hunters now?
Yes. And there's also one called Dilf something. There's one.
Ooh.
There's one catered to like milfs, and there's one catered to dilfs.
There's MILF Manor.
Milf Manor. Wow.
Mm.
Hmm.
Well, didn't we mention it before we started recording? Like Jerry Springer, Maury, and all those, Ricky Lake. That's kind of the precursor to the reality shows in the early
Yeah.
2000s, right? Like I remember MTV
Mhm.
became a huge hub for these reality shows. Like I remember stuff where it's like not date my daughter. Like it has something to do with like the parents not liking what their daughter or son that they're
Yeah.
dating, so they pick someone else.
Oh,
I'll
what
admit,
was that? What
hmm?
was that? Parental control.
Yes, yes. Oh man, I know it's now that I talk about it out loud with you guys, I don't know. I almost feel like kind of dirty and ashamed that I was so drawn to these trashy shows, but that just goes to show like there's a certain level of attraction to them.
Oh yeah, there's an appeal. There's an appeal to it.
So, of course, my mom, you know how my mom is, was like, Stephanie, this is why you're the way that you are, that you're divorced and stuff, because you watch all those Maury shows and you don't know how to act. I'm like, yeah, mom, okay, Maury's the reason why I'm
You don't
divorced.
know how to act, Jesus.
Mm.
I swear, there's this thing.
Maury. Oh, causing
There's this
divorces.
line. There's this line on Ted Lasso where it's like, be curious, not judgmental.
I tweeted that out today.
And it's
Silence.
just it's just wild,
That scene's
like
great, by
just
the way.
just how judgy people can be sometimes.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah.
That um that episode is amazing. That's probably one of the best episodes of the show, and it's in the first season.
I like that
But
line.
the moment
Yeah.
you judge them, they clutch their pearls super tight.
Mm. Well,
Yippers.
isn't that kind of what the basis of those shows in the 90s were then? It's like it's literally a circus, like a people circus or even a coliseum, so to speak, where we all get to watch and judge and feel better about ourselves, which I
Hmm.
don't know, on one end can be cathartic, but at the same time, we might not want to make this a real habit because that's
Yeah,
not good.
yeah, true that.
Hmm.
So,
Rest
regard
rest in peace,
rest in
Jerry. Like
peace.
you,
Yeah.
like no, like I mean, like you did a lot of. You did a lot of things for our society. I'll say that. Like if anything, you put it under a microscope. That like that. There are people out there that like their lives are like filled with drama that they didn't always necessarily invite to themselves and stuff like that. So there's always a lesson to be learned and all that stuff. An
Yes.
entertaining lesson, but a lesson.
And you know what? The one thing I did like, despite all the inappropriate stuff, not PC stuff, at the end of every Jerry Springer show, he would actually say a line or two that was words of wisdom,
Yeah,
like actual words of
yeah,
wisdom. And then what's his favorite? Not favorite, his popular tagline is take care of yourselves and each other.
yes,
Hmm.
yep.
Yep.
So,
Rest in
all right.
peace, Jerry Springer. You 78, man. That's young too. I feel like.
I think he
What
passed
do you
away
what do
from
you, what do you, what do you, what do you pass away from?
pancreatic cancer.
Oh
Oh
shit.
That's yeah, really bad one.
man.
So,
Um. All right. Well, what now? What do we do now?
do we
Good
have time
question.
for the turn on, turn off thing?
I
Mm.
I don't have to be anywhere until 8 o'clock in the morning, so we could turn each other on all night long if we want. Ah, I'll see myself out.
Corey, I'm not in the mood tonight. I have a headache.
Don't worry, my phone will be on vibrate. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but
You know exactly what it's supposed to mean.
oh, I'm fired.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know.
What gets you all tingly inside, LeRon?
And what doesn't get you tingly anymore that used to get you tingly?
Skanky hose.
I'm a words for affirmation. I'm a words of affirmation type of guy. So you start telling me some stuff that just makes me feel good about myself, and I'm gonna wind up making you feel good later.
You
Ooh.
like those sweet nothings being whispered in your ear, don't you?
Oh hell yeah! Like yeah. Say it all to me.
Well, here's something.
Um,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I wasn't sure if you needed time to think.
Okay, so definitely because I'm a visual, I'm a man, so like it's all about visuals and stuff like that. Like I women, I love seeing y'all in like business attire, like just like super
Yeah.
dressed up and everything. I love it. You know, like skirts, dresses, whatever. You know, like if it looks like you're supposed to be walking into like like a business meeting or whatnot, like yeah, you got my attention. Like I'm gonna and that's one of my thing. There was a trend. There was a trend in music videos, like for electronic music and stuff like that, where it was always about women super dressed up and everything, and like they're dancing and all that stuff. And it was, yeah, like my favorite type of music videos. You know, it's kind of thing. Like I don't know. I like authoritative women. I do. I'm not saying I like dominatrixes or whatnot. Even though they have their place somewhere, but like I like I don't know. I kind of like boss ass bitches. I do.
I mean, I too prefer that. I like the pencil skirt with like the white shirt with the blazer. I'm into it. I'm into it.
Uh-huh.
The heels, no toes, like not the ones where your toes are sticking out though. That just looks like it hurts. I like the the rounded fronted heels, if that makes sense.
Wait, don't they call those mules?
I don't know what they're called.
I don't know what they're called neither. I can't keep track of women of every article of women's clothes because like y'all have a name for everything. Even though I'm like those are just pants. Those are just shorts. That's just a dress. That's a skirt. Those are leggings.
I was also really into like costumes at one time. Like so
Hold on.
You mean like
Explain.
French
like
maid type costumes? You talking about that?
whatever. Like
Okay,
so
okay.
I this is way before my wife. This was like way so I want to get that out of the way first. Okay.
I'm bad. He's doing
Closets.
the referee hand signal.
Like a whole like half a closet full of like you like okay, what do you want? Okay. And that's cop,
Corey was all about that dress
firefighter,
up.
nurse, some sort of something skimpy, sure, something whatever. Yeah, anything. It was fun.
You
It
let
was
your
a good
girl
time.
handcuff you just for just for the thrill of it, didn't you?
Yeah, well, key got lost, but that's a story for a different day. Look, there's a lot of lotion to get my hand out there. Okay, have you ever had to do that? Just kind of had to like make your hand go like
Just
this
do
and
like
kind of
just like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. Wait, no, who was a dislocated their own thumb? Was that in
Ew.
Was that in Marvel? Was that in Marvel? One of the Marvel flicks, or
I
was?
don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest. Uh, but yeah, I mean, there was a lot going on there, and like, yeah, it was a good time. I really enjoyed that immensely. Also, like the librarian slash teacher look, or the I just got home from a long night at the strip club look was also a favorite
Oh,
back then.
What does
Uh,
that look like?
you dirty.
yeah,
Like greasy
look,
hair and glitter
look,
everywhere? Like I don't get it.
I went
So,
look, me and this person went through a phase. Like it it was a phase. Okay. This was at the point where I was like first of all, she was way out of my league. Okay. Like I was batting upwards. Okay.
Wow.
I was like a single A hitter in the majors for like the World Series, right? This is what that was, right? So that this was at a point where I was like, maybe I should lose some weight. Maybe I should work out. Maybe I should look like I may be able to have a chance with this person. Okay. And that was like during my I lost all this weight phase and felt really good about myself phase. So that was that. And it was a good couple years. Okay. I'm just going to
No, I just
I'm,
genuinely
I'm,
want to know what that looks like. Coming
I'm
back from a
sorry
long
when
night at the
So
strip
like
club.
when Stephanie said just oily and glitter. The first thing I
kind
thought
of
about was Kesha.
yes,
That was the first thing I
Kesha,
thought
yeah,
about.
like Kesha. Would it be a Kesha look?
kinda,
Okay.
yeah. Um, like the torn kind of I don't know what they're called now. I think it's probably the not a PC term, but like a wife beater with like, the skirt that was basically a shirt sleeve.
Wait,
And
wait, wait, wait,
like
wait, 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 wait. I know this look from somewhere. Hold on, hold on. Isn't what movie was it? It was a crap. She
All right.
played. She
While
played in
LeRon's think,
Smallville. Yeah, she played in Smallville. Or was Lana? But what was the movie? Kristen Crook. The movie was Euro Trip. The
oh yeah.
song Scotty Doesn't Know. You remember what she was wearing?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes, that.
Kinda, yeah. Um so
Okay, speaking of girls from Smallville,
that
man,
was fun.
like
Like we'd go out
Erica Durance that played Lois in Smallville. Oh my god, like I had a major crush on her.
we would go out like all night, and I would come home at like 4 5 6 o'clock in the morning. Now granted, she was a major alcoholic, so that was like a big thing I had to like deal with, but uh it was fun. It was a good couple years, I have to say. So
And she was indulging your sexual proclivities.
oh man, it was, yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Nothing wrong with it.
And like she was highly experimental, we'll say.
Mm.
ooh,
So
no question. When it comes to costumes and stuff,
mhm.
would she just like try and put on a show for you, or would she be like, "I'm gonna go in the bathroom and get changed"? Like,
Yeah, that. Like usually so at the time here's what happened. At the time I had come home from Columbus to go to school at Kent, and I was living my parents had like remodeled their basement to be an apartment type thing, so I was living in their basement, and like she would come in through the walk-in basement in the bottom at the bottom of the basement. Like the basement had its own separate door that you could walk in, and she would stay the night, or we would go out, or we would, whatever, and she would bring a bag to stay over. And there was like a shower and a whole bathroom down there to where like she could do whatever, and I took my showers down there and whatever, and then she would leave. And that was like our relationship for like the first I don't know, 6 months probably.
eh, been there.
So uh but yeah, I mean, she would just bring something. She would just surprise me, and you know as a male in their early to mid 20s, it
Mm.
was never disappointed. uh but yeah, but then I'm like, I kind of like look at that stuff to go back on like what doesn't turn us on now that used to. Like I don't know, some of that would do it for me now, you
Like
know.
what?
Like I don't know, like the I really like sexy without being dirty now is like kind of what does it for me, you
Mm.
know? Like somebody who dresses well, like does their hair, like glasses are a plus, right? But like not slutty or dirty, if that makes sense. Like I don't really know how else to explain it, I guess. I just
Taste change.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Mm.
I'm trying to think because like I'm in my late 40s now, and I can't and shit. Like I think the biggest turn on for me is just recognizing that I'm there at this point now.
mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and I don't mean that like like oh like you're here, let's fuck, more like like just acknowledging that I'm a human being, and I'm there, and I'm there with you or whatnot.
Mhm. Yeah, and like another thing that like I young doesn't do it for me. Like You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Young
I think
has never done it for me, even when I
we
was young.
yeah. I mean, like yeah. I mean, when I was young, yeah, of course, young kind of was okay because I was also young. But like we kind of talked about this on the objectification episode, where like any person that's under 30, like I feel gross. You know, I just like or anybody who looks like they're under 30.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my god,
Oh
this is.
yeah,
I
oh
feel
yeah,
like no, no, no.
yeah. Like looking young fucks with me in so many different types of ways, and not in a good way.
But
Yeah,
these are all good protective measures, guys. These are things that are naturally supposed to occur in our brains because if not, that's a problem.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Which is why like the whole Leonardo DiCaprio thing is so
Ugh,
hilarious to me.
yuck.
It's like the running joke is like as soon as he turns 30, like he dumps them.
yeah.
I used to think
Uh,
all men were like that.
Mm-mm.
They would just kind of always leave you for a younger model.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know what?
I
What
definitely
I've
know people that would do that, right? Like, I
yeah,
definitely know people that
Ew.
are like that, but
what I've been learning about like psychology and like male and female psychology is that like men 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 innately look at that, but it's also because it's wired in us that like we want people who can rear children for us and stuff like that. So we know like from a biological standpoint that like once a woman gets out of her 20s, like the idea of like her having kids with us is a thing. But and I'm saying this on a purely scientific. I'm not a pig or a chauvinist or whatever and stuff like that. Like it's just one of those things. It's ingrained, and it's just like with women, like it's ingrained. It's ingrained that women want to look to their mate as the person that provides and stuff like that. Like you know like it's just things that I've noticed and I understand, and that's all it is. It's not me saying this is the way it is or the way it should be.
No, some people unfortunately tend to forget that there are science-based instincts. I mean, we are animals in a sense, just with a sense of
We're
self.
we're we're a product of millions of years of evolution,
Yeah.
and don't think just because it says the year is 2023 that we've only been around for at most 2,500 years. As living human beings. Like we've been around for a long goddamn time.
Yeah.
yeah.
Let me see. A type that used to do it for me back then, but definitely doesn't do it now, and I don't know why, would be kind of the grungy, like almost like a Nirvana type guy. Just grungy. Nirvana's not emo, but I mean also emo type guys, guys with
Mhm.
longer hair, gangly or whatever. Now I'm like, ew, take a shower, cut your hair. Like, um,
Wash your hair.
yeah, guys in a three-piece suit. Oh my gosh, like I dated this guy who is a super casual person, which is fine. I'm casual too, but I literally said to his face like a million times, I'm like, if you just wear a suit for me, I'm like, my pants are just gonna disappear. Like, you will get laid. Like, won't this be fun? Never did it. Like, I just, I'm like, come
Oh
on, I'm giving you like the secret recipe of what could turn me on the most. But yeah. And then vice versa. I didn't really like a very hairy man. Like, I don't know, I just found, like, a lot of hair to be gross. I'm like, "Oh, I want a nice clean shaven guy," or whatever. But now I'm like, "Give me a dude with a nice thick, hairy chest." I love it. I just love, like, just, ah, burying my face in chest hair. I know that's probably TMI, but,
no, no, no.
I remember when one of my partners shaved his chest, I was actually very upset for the rest of the day.
Uh,
I was like, "How could you?" I was like, "Fine, I'm
uh,
gonna cut off my hair," because he really liked me having long hair, and I'm like, "I'm cutting my hair. You shaved your chest. I'm cutting my hair."
all right, when a woman cuts her hair, that's scary, actually, because we don't know what is coming from. we don't, we don't know if this is the next step to like we wind up being an episode of When Women Kill or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, the way I used to handle it is every time I go through a big breakup, I cut off all my hair. Not like it just happens to be a coincidence.
I I've also found myself like I've kind of fallen into a type, right? And like I am really only like I really only notice people that kind of have a similar resemblance of my wife now. Like
Oh, that's
Aw,
good.
no,
so
I
That's
mean like
good.
sweet.
my wife is like the type of person that I have always been attracted to, right? And like I don't know, I guess I she lost that battle, I guess. But I like I really like a brunette. I really like somebody who like, when this is gonna sound weird, but like so in the winter, the sun is not out and she gets pretty white, but like when we go out, like when it's summertime and she gets tan, that's also like, wow, I like the way you look like right now too. Like I like very uh whatever. And then like I don't know, I just kind of have found myself like I nothing else kind of really does it for me except,
Aw,
you know.
sorry, I'm gonna get all mushy here. I hope someday I find a partner that's like you. So sweet.
In my head, I'm sitting there thinking, man, like Corey would be so fucked if his wife had a twin sister because he
Oh.
just said like his wife is his type, so like he'd accidentally like sleep with his damn sister in law and not realize what the fuck happened.
Funny you should say. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh God.
I'm
Oh,
just kidding.
come
I'm just
on.
kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh man, that was funny though. But yeah, that's kind of I don't know. I've kind of fallen out of that. Like I think because we've been together for so long. In January, it'll be 10 years we've been together.
Wow.
So like I've kind of fallen out of that. Like I gotta look for someone, and it just kind of just doesn't. I don't know. Nothing else really like. I mean, not that like, oh, I see someone like on TV that's super attractive. It's not like I'm not gonna notice, right? But it's like I don't know. I've just kind of looked and found what I needed to be satisfied,
That's
I guess.
cool. That's so great.
So yeah.
One more thing, and I think I only started thinking about it, LeRon, because you were talking about like instincts and like just how
Mhm.
we're built from a biological standpoint. Because if you think about the again, just instinct, cis female, like programming of, and it's not even like a gender thing. It's just we are programmed to find the best mate to produce the best possible or strongest offspring or healthiest offspring. So
Yeah.
based off of that high level thinking, like a woman would more supposed to be, right, quote unquote, go for like a more alpha male type build,
Hmm.
right? That's like the old fashioned traditional like alpha male because that's like the stronger whatever. I've always been attracted to the betas like all my life. I'm like I'm all
Oh yeah.
alpha males just turned me off, didn't like them. And like but when I hit my 30s, I actually like maybe like post divorce, I guess 30s or post divorce, whatever you want to take it, everyone that I've been kind of like looking at or being attracted to has been more of an alpha male type thing. Which you think would be the reverse, that I'd be attracted to alpha males during my more reproductive years. But no, only now I'm like, all right, bring on the dumb brutes. Just kidding.
Yeah. It's there's a long time where like I was be my friend's like wingman or whatever. And like I would be super into like what most men would call like sevens or eights, like that's where I felt most comfortable in time, like a range of if you
Mm.
had to like I don't know. I know that sounds like pretty misogynistic, but that's how men
Hey,
think.
you want
So
if you want to
yeah.
hear misogynistic, back in the MySpace days, there was a forum where girls would ask dudes to rate them, like just like, "Hi,
Oh
rate my
yeah, I
profile
remember that.
picture." And I remember back then a guy commented on mine because I was stupid and young and like, "Well, I might as well have guys judge me for how I look." Haha. Guys like, what does he say? 7, definitely 8 or 9 if you were older.
Ah.
Maybe he was just trying to be careful. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't believe I participated in stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe that should be like a topic one night. It's like dumb things that we participated in, like a
Mm.
bachelorette
Oh,
party.
you participated in Bachelor. You know what? Well, that's going to do it for us for this edition of Boss Rush After Dark. We're putting a pin in that one. We're going to revisit that one. As a matter of fact, I'm updating the document for that one before I go to bed tonight.
Oh God.
You know what? This is going to take us out there. So that's our show for tonight. We want to thank you all for listening and tuning in to us. Check the show notes. You know, you'll find all the information for how to get in contact with us, as well as the Boss Rush, umbrella that we all are part of. Also, don't forget we want to thank our patrons and out there. Hit up our patron. Become a producer. You'll get some nice little perks in the process. Like, check all that information out in our description. You'll see how to do it. Corey, Stephanie, as always, it's a pleasure. Thanks. Like, Wednesdays are not Wednesdays without you guys.
It really isn't. Great conversation.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, definitely. We're gonna go ahead and head out tonight, but don't worry. Be safe out there. Take Jerry Springer's advice. Be kind to each other.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Oh yeah, and be curious, not judgmental. All in that vein as well.
And not too judgmental, but it is helpful if you know who your baby daddy is.
Yeah.
No, it's
If
not.
you want to keep the conversation going, hit up our Discord. Tell us about some of your turn-ons or whatnot, or turn-offs. Better yet, like whatever floats your boat on that one. We're gonna go ahead.
Should we make that an opt-in channel on Discord? By the way, the After Dark channel.
The After Dark channel? Might not be a bad idea.
Just because, some people might share information that maybe they don't want everybody to know, but if they want to opt in, they can.
Yeah. I like that
TBD
idea.
on that, guys. TBD.
I like that idea.
Patreon.
All right. Well, we're signing off. You guys have a good night, and join us for our next all-new episode of Boss Rush After Dark, the topics show where we talk about things that aren't always content appropriate for the other Boss Rush anchor shows. So there you have it. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.